The Israelites traveled from Ramses to Succoth. There were about 600,000 men old enough to go into battle. The women and children went with them, so did many other people. The Israelites lived in Egypt for 430 years. Then all the Lord's people marched out of Egypt like an army. That happened at the end of the 430 years, to the exact day. Pharaoh let the people go. The shortest route from Goshen to Canaan went through the Philistine country. But God didn't lead them that way. God said if they have to go into battle, they might change their minds. They might return to Egypt. So God led the people into the Red Sea by taking them on a road through the desert. The Israelites were ready for battle when they went up out of Egypt. Then the Lord spoke to Moses. He said, "Tell the people of Israel to turn back. Have them camp near Pi-hahiroth, near Migdol and the Red Sea. They must camp by the sea. Pharaoh will think the Israelites are wandering around the land. They don't know which way to go. The desert is all around them. I will make Pharaoh stubborn. He will chase them. But I will gain glory for myself because of what will happen to Pharaoh and his whole army. And the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord." So the Israelites camped by the Red Sea. The king of Egypt was told that the people had escaped. Then Pharaoh and his officials changed their minds about them. So he had his chariot made ready. He took his army with him. He took 600 of the best chariots in Egypt. The Lord made Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, stubborn. So he chased the Israelites as they were marching out boldly. The Egyptians went after the Israelites. All Pharaoh's horses and chariots and horsemen and troops chased them. They caught up with the Israelites as they camped by the sea. As Pharaoh approached, the Israelites looked back. There were the Egyptians marching after them. The Israelites were terrified. They cried out to the Lord. They said to Moses, "Why did you bring us to the desert to die? Weren't there any graves in Egypt? What have you done to us by bringing us out of Egypt? We told you in Egypt, 'Leave us alone. Let us serve the Egyptians.' It would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die here in the desert." Moses answered the people. He said, "Don't be afraid. Stand firm. You will see how the Lord will save you today. Do you see those Egyptians? You will never see them again. The Lord will fight for you. Just be still." Then the Lord spoke to Moses. He said, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the people of Israel to move on. Hold out your walking stick. Reach out your hand over the Red Sea to divide the water. Then the people can go through the sea on dry ground. I will make the Egyptians stubborn. They will go in after the Israelites. I will gain glory for myself because of what will happen to Pharaoh, his army, chariots, and horsemen. The Egyptians will know that I am the Lord. I will gain glory because of what will happen to Pharaoh, his chariots, and his horsemen." The angel of God had been traveling in front of Israel's army. Now he moved back and went behind them. The pillar of cloud also moved away from the front of them. Now it stood behind them. It came between the armies of Egypt and Israel. All through the night the cloud brought darkness to one side and light to the other. Neither army went near the other all night long. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. But this time you won't have to leave in a hurry. You won't have to rush away. The Lord will go ahead of you and lead you. The God of Israel will follow behind you and guard you. You are all around me, behind me, and in front of me. You hold me safe in your hand.